unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I have the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. If you're having a stressful day, week, or month, this reading is perfect for you. Today, it's all about relaxing and just tuning into the messages from the universe as well as your spirit guides. And you guys, I just wanted to put it out there that if you feel like you need a more personalized reading, the link is down below in the description box as well for that. So I do offer those on my website, as well as a ton of crystal products, including the ones that I'm wearing today, and these absolutely amazing and fabulous crystal water bottles. So they come with a ton of different types of crystals, and they infuse your water with the vibes of the crystal of your choice. So they come with a ton of different stones. Some of them directly infuse your water, some of them indirectly infuse them. Fact is, my life has never been the same since I started using these. So yeah, guys, I prefer to keep the intro short because I would rather spend more time within your individual readings just to make sure that you get the most out of this video. And in order to help you figure out what your spirit guides are trying to say to you, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, with each one of these minerals representing one of the 4 groups. And the groups are as follows. We have the Orchid Calcite, we have the Tiger Eye, we have the Diopside, as well as the Emerald. But as you know, the timestamps are linked in the description box as well as pinned in the comment section. I'm in a really chill mood and I wanted to make use of that for this reading. So without further ado, I'm gonna get straight into it with the first group, which corresponds to the Orchid Calcite. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Orchid Calcite. Group number 1, I'm going to be doing this reading completely intuitively. As you can see, I have not prepared any cards whatsoever. So let's just see what messages that your spirit guides have for you. First, we have the 8th house. Then we have the 3rd house. So in the 8th house, I see here potential in the area of your life that has a lot to do with a transformation as well as intense emotion. So some sort of change within maybe your relationship status, maybe your marital status, just, you know, that place in your life where it's about commitment, where it's about who you want to spend the most time with. That is where I see big changes coming, and that is where I see that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you that you can potentially do a lot more than you've been doing. And it may not be clear to you right now. This may become a lot clearer as we progress within your reading, group number 1, but there is definitely potential for change and growth in this area of your life that is very close to your heart. So this is one thing that I want you to keep like in the back of your mind, group number 1, and don't forget that we discuss this as we move further into your reading. So we have the ant spirit as well as the dove spirit. So in the ant spirit, one thing that I see here is that you have to not shy away to collaborate. And group number 1, I feel like in correlation to your relationships and just that area of life where there's this strong commitment, I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you need to trust and you need to be at peace when you're putting responsibility in somebody else's hands. So I see that there's a lot of growth that can be done there. Maybe you have a child, a pet, a business, just something that is important to you that kind of freaks you out, just giving somebody else the chore of taking care of it or of taking over a little bit of the load for you. But I want you to know that you have to try and release that a little bit. You have to try and like relax more, just because it's not necessary. There are certain areas in life where if you do not allow other people to help you, you may become so overwhelmed that you end up burning out, which obviously we don't want for you. So in order to allow you to have a little bit of weight lifted off your shoulders, you don't just need to delegate the chores to somebody else, but you also need to remind yourself that there's no point in stressing once you've allowed somebody else to help you out or to take over a chore, because then it's pointless. It only makes sense if you give that person a chance to prove that they're trustworthy and that they're capable of the task, and you just like chill out until they have proven that they're maybe not worthy. You know what I mean? Until they've proven, okay, not worthy, but until they've proven that maybe they can't handle the task. Not worthy is the completely wrong term, sorry. Sometimes I just mix things up because I speak multiple languages. So if my English isn't always perfect, I apologize. Then we have the panther spirit as well as the armadillo spirit. So one thing that I see here is that your spirit guides want you to know that you're powerful. I feel like maybe you have let your power slip a little bit. Maybe you have not thought as highly of yourself as you potentially could have. And I want you to know in the armadillo spirit that this may have a lot to do with people who crossed a boundary at a time in your life where you were vulnerable. So this could be when you were younger, when you were a child, that somebody maybe overstepped that boundary into your personal space, into your mental space, and put beliefs into your head, into your system that are not true, and that have taken away a lot of your power, that have allowed you to just give away this essential part of yourself that you need in order to go through life, that you need in order to be successful. So let me make an example. If, for instance, as a kid, you were always told that there's no way you're going to be successful, nothing's going to come out of you, maybe you're not attractive, you're not lovable, you're not worthy, just all of these sorts of things, I'll just put them into one basket because they're all kind of really negative things. I think we can agree on that. And you couldn't set those boundaries because you were a child. So especially if it was a grown-up close to you or a grown-up in a power position, maybe like a teacher of some sort or a parent, and that is the things that they were saying, those are the things that they were communicating to you. Maybe right now you don't know how to set those boundaries because you were never brought up to set those boundaries, because it's been normal for you to just allow people to enter your space and distract. The same goes for love. So this does not have to be a childhood memory. That is an example for you to just understand exactly what I mean. This can, of course, have been something that happened lately, not very long ago, or that you're currently going through. And your spirit guides want you to know that the best thing for you to do is to set boundaries and to make sure that you don't allow people into your sacred space, into the space where they're able to affect your self-esteem. That is only for the people who you can 100% trust, not for anybody who maybe has an ego problem or some sort of other issue with themselves and they're letting it out on you. But I think you totally understand what I mean, group number one. However, I would like to move further into your reading to figure out more messages from your spirit guides. So we have the stag, we have the great teacher, we have summer, as well as the oracle. So I definitely see that once you're able to just trust that this is exactly what you need to do, set those boundaries and make sure that you sort of lock everybody out who might make you feel less than, I see that you're going to be able to thrive. The stag spirit tells me a lot about the fact that once you trust, you're 100% committed and you're able to thrive. And in the great teacher, I want you to learn ways on how to set boundaries through spiritual practice, as well as through just exploring ways that are non-confrontational, ways where you're not hurting other people's feelings or that you're not exposing yourself to any situation that is less than favorable. So a way how you can do that is, for instance, reading books. I just read an amazing book by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I want you to know that there are a lot of tips within these spiritual leaders and teachers where they can allow you to maintain your composure, where they teach you how to maintain your composure and show you another viewpoint where you're all of a sudden, you feel as though you have empathy for the person that has crossed these boundaries or who is maybe attacking you, because you sense that there's probably something deeper going on with them, and that is why they're doing this to you. So this newfound sense of compassion is one thing that I feel is a very valuable lesson, group number one. And once you start to slowly but surely change your mind to seeing things from that point of view, then you will start to understand the greater picture a lot more in depth, and you will just be more chill about things. You will let people know, like, okay, it's fine, if this is how you feel, this is how you feel. However, I don't want you to cross these boundaries, and the fact that you felt the need to, I have empathy for you. Maybe there's something you're going through that made you feel like this was the right thing to do, and I hope that things start looking up for you. But until then, I just gotta say, hey, as long as it's affecting my personal space, my confidence, how powerful I am in manifesting and creating in my love life, in my career, I just gotta set this boundary. But always open and happy to talk. So that is the vibe that I want you to have. That is the vibe that your spirit guides are trying to show you that is probably the best thing for you to be doing right now. Then in the oracle, I want you to wait for this important information. So there is something that there's good news that is coming for you. That is one thing that I see in summer. You will be able to be happy, joyful, bask in joy and light, but the information is not quite ready. It's still cooking, it's still brewing. So group number one, I want you to be patient. I want you to give this information a little bit more time to reveal itself, but rest assured from watching this reading that the information is going to be favorable. It's going to be the outcome that you desired, but maybe it is kind of a little further away than you expected, so maybe it is not what you think it is. So let me explain my crazy thought process, my crazy findings here within your reading. So maybe there's a project where you want to know the outcome this week. However, there's a project still down the line, 2-3 weeks down the line, where you're not even thinking of the outcome, and that is the actual project that the universe is speaking about. Maybe you have to be patient for 2 or 3 more weeks instead of just like a few days. So that is one thing that I want you to maintain patience and to just trust that everything will be completely fine for you. Then we have the dragonfly spirit as well as the fox spirit. So in the dragonfly spirit, I want you to know that the truth will always come out. So any sort of toxic situation where you feel like somebody may have crossed a boundary, maybe in the moment where they were crossing that boundary, you weren't able to see how insecure they are or how much they're battling with themselves. But the truth will always transcend any illusions. How they really feel about themselves, who they really are, will come to light. And they will probably never admit this, but you will come to see that once you gain that little bit of distance that you need. So I want you to apply this to a lot of different areas of your life. Your spirit guides, I want you to use this instantly. That is one thing that I see in the fox spirit. You have to implement this new way of thinking instantly in order to make the best out of your current situation. So apply this way of thinking of just letting the truth transcend, of just taking a little bit of space from situations to just see it from a different perspective, and to allow yourself to not put pressure on it, to not want everything to happen quickly, to not want everything to happen in a way that is grand and big. Just allow things to take their time to develop. Trust in the process. I know trust in the process is something that everybody just throws around, but actually trust in the fact that the answers are coming, and there's no point in stressing about them because you're not going to speed up the process. So group number one, these are the messages that I received for you from your spirit guides. I truly hope that you found them inspiring. I hope that you found them motivational, and also that they gave you a little bit of peace of mind. So let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye group number two. I want to move straight into your reading about what your spirit guides want you to know. I'm going to be doing this intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy. First up, we have the 10th house. So one thing that I see here that is going to be affected, that your spirit guides want to talk to you about, is your achievements as well as your status to the outside world. So what I mean by that is how you appear, how other people see you, what sort of like social class that they would put you in. You know what I mean? Just the impression that you make. Then we have the 4th house as well as Aries. So group number two, in Aries, we obviously have fiery energy. Obviously, if you're in Aries or somebody very close to you is in Aries, that could be the reason why this showed up in your reading. However, this does not have to be the case. I see here that in correlation to the 10th and the 4th house in your life, the Aries has an effect on it. The Aries is allowing you to be more spontaneous with these things, is allowing you to be take more impulsive action, which is not always a bad thing, and is allowing you to think out of the box more. So maybe you've been a little bit afraid to give up a certain area of your social status. Maybe you've never wanted to be the person who, for instance, stops their studies or begins studying something that your social scene does not understand or accept. Maybe in the fourth house, there's another thing in your home life, in the roots of your beings, where you've never been able to express how you truly feel. But in the Aries, all of a sudden you have this dynamic, spontaneous energy where you're just ready to be yourself and ready to get done whatever needs to get done in order for you to get to the next stage in your life where you are happy. So your spirit guides want you to know that this is not always an easy situation to deal with, especially when it comes to your home life. That is what we have in the fourth house. Because friends, family, the people closest to you, when they voice concern or when they tell you that they feel like something is just not right or something is not for you, it can put doubt into your mind and into your head. And group number 2, I want you to know that they may be coming from a good place, but they don't realize how distracting as well as disturbing it can be for them to put their opinions on you, especially if it is, for instance, a stranger doing that in an unsolicited way. So keep in mind that you have to stand your ground in this situation. You have to make sure that you don't allow anybody to shake you just through their words. At the end of the day, you know what you're going for. You know exactly what lights you up, what you're passionate about. And even if it will affect how other people see you socially or what they see in your achievements, you still need to go for it in order to be happy. Your spirit guides are definitely urging you to do what you want to do and not do what society wants you to do. So let's move further into reading. We have the stag as well as the oracle. So I see here in the stag and the oracle that you have to give it a little bit of time when it comes to this piece of information that you need, group number 2. So there could be a piece of information that you need from somebody else. Maybe it's a result, a test result. Maybe it's just knowingness over your business, over an opportunity in your life. And I want you to keep in mind that sometimes you just need to trust and wait while you're sort of like kicking butt, while you're doing the things that you want to do. You cannot allow that to deter you from your journey and your path. Your spirit guides want you to not use not having certain answers as an excuse to be stagnant and to not go after the things that you know you've always wanted to go after. And know how sometimes you say to yourself, oh, like I'm going to look into starting my own business later. I'm going to look into how I can get a promotion next month for whatever reason. And oftentimes it is just a way to procrastinate and to make ourselves feel better for not taking immediate action. But I want you to know that you should not use that as an excuse. Of course, there are things that are not in your control where you just have to be patient, as I mentioned earlier, but there are also certain things where that excuse or just that fact will not apply and not work. So make a very strong difference between that, group number 2, as this may be holding you back from achieving your highest good as well as your highest potential. If you just tell yourself, oh, well, I can't work on whatever it is that you know you need to work on because of a reason that is actually irrelevant to it. So then we have the lizard spirit, the electric eel spirit, as well as the cow spirit. So group number 2, we have a very interesting mixture here. Okay, these are animals that do not really show up in the nature in the same habitat. And I want you to know that in your life, in correlation to your life, this may mean that there are a lot of different elements where you need to start to feel comfortable in. There are a lot of different things that are going to challenge you of a lot of different genres. So you may be challenged at work, you may be challenged emotionally, you may be challenged physically. But I want you to know that it is possible to not necessarily master everything, but to get to a point where you feel comfortable in a lot of different elements. So first and foremost, in the cow spirit, I want you to know that there is abundance here, especially in the earthly realms. So sometimes one can feel a little down, one can feel like you want more. You want more for yourself in the earthly realms, you want more for yourself when it comes to material things and maybe time, maybe also when it comes to your body, you want to improve it. And I want you to not just keep wishing, I want you to actually bring those ideas to life. So if you have an idea for a business venture, if you want more in the earthly realms, because let's be real, the only way how you can achieve more financial success is by doing something, just telling yourself that the promotion is going to come, or so on and so forth. That is where you're putting your life and your dreams, your goals in somebody else's possession, in somebody else's control. So it is really up to them whether you ever get there. But if you want to take matters into your own hands, your spirit guides definitely want you to bring some ideas to life. The same goes for your body. If you want to get your body right, if you want to work out, you just have to start. You just have to begin doing it. That is one thing that I see here in the lizard spirit. It is important for you to take that action alongside your want, because often we just want, but we don't have a clue on how to take action. So if you're unsure how to take action towards your goals, towards the things that you want, then research it. There's literally nothing stopping you from picking up your phone, your laptop, opening a tab, and just Googling, how can I get a flat stomach? How can I make more money? How can I make more money doing something that I love? And figure out how to do it. Other people have come before you and accomplished this before you. Your spirit guides want you to know that you can do the same. Group number 2. But let's move further into your reading. We have the Traveler as well as the Earth Guardian. So in the Traveler, one thing that I see here is that it would probably be beneficial for you to literally travel. Group number 2. If you have the opportunity to see something new, a new country, a new city, take the opportunity. Don't pass up on it. In the Earth Guardian, I want you to stay grounded. I want you to make sure that you put a focus on your home life as well. In the 4th house, we briefly touched upon it, how it's more important for you actually to do what you want instead of allowing people closest to you in your home life maybe to stop you just because of their concern, which may be coming from a good place, but is not helpful to you. It is not doing anything for you. So I want you to know here in the Earth Guardian that there are other ways how you can bring things back into balance if you have maybe rubbed somebody the wrong way by just going after what it is that you want. Allow yourself to take time to explain the reasons why you make the decisions that you make, of course only if they're willing to listen and understand, and also take time to give a little bit of extra effort, give a little bit of extra extra time to those who are important to you, to your surroundings, so that you don't come back from trips, be it a day trip, be it a different trip, a different route that you take to work in order to just make sure that you travel, that you see new things. Make sure that you come home to a tidy home. Make sure that you come back to a place where you feel comfortable, where you feel like you can really ground yourself and get to a space where you're comfortable after maybe being in an exciting yet uncomfortable position. So as I said, maybe you're taking a longer way or route home from work, and that is your sort of travel. Don't underestimate how quickly and how easily you can travel. It doesn't always need to involve a plane or a very extensive amount of time. You can also just travel to a different neighborhood, allow that sort of experience to sink in, especially if you're a little bit anxious about leaving your comfort zone, leaving the places that you know. Just start small. Allow yourself to get used to change, to switching it up, and to seeing new things. So group number 2, these are the messages that I received for you from your spirit guides. I truly hope that you found them enjoyable, motivational, inspirational. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section what you're going to try out and what really hit home for you. And I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 3 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Diopside group number 3, and I want to get straight into your reading about what your spirit guides want you to know. So let's figure out exactly what they're trying to communicate with us. We have the Medicine Mother as well as the Lord. So in the Medicine Mother, one thing that I see here is that you have to take a little bit more time to listen to your inner calling, to your inner knowing. So oftentimes we know things already before they happen. We can feel them, we can anticipate what is coming next. And it can be really scary to just go off of that gut feeling in order to make a choice before we have a definite answer. But in the Lord, I want you to know that right now your feeling is trustworthy. Your inner knowing, that sort of inner guide that you have that is pushing you towards a certain outcome or pushing you towards a certain action is trustworthy. You just have to believe that it is and take charge right now in a way where you're taking over the authoritative streak in your life, where you're taking over the mature role of just saying, this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna trust our gut feeling, our intuition, and go for it. And then we have the first house. So I see here that your spirit guides want to talk to you about how people see you, okay? What sort of impression you make, that first impression especially. And it is so important for you to know that just because you may not always feel good about yourself doesn't mean that other people have to have a bad impression of you. That is one thing that the Lord is here to communicate with you. The Lord allows you to know that through confidence, as well as telling yourself that you're worthy, telling yourself that other people see you in the most fabulous way, you can actually project that into reality. You can actually make that a thing. So if you would have entered a room before a little bit insecure just because you're not having the best day, maybe you feel like your outfit isn't on point, or maybe your hair doesn't look good, now all of a sudden you will start to realize that just telling yourself like, hey, it may not be my best day, but I can impress anyone even on my worst day. That is going to change the entire vibe around you. Then we have the Scorpio. So in the Scorpio, I want you to know that there's very intense energy around you. Maybe you, in fact, are a Scorpio, or there is a Scorpio around you that has a very strong effect on your life, group number 3. But I want you to know that you are capable of having that sort of Scorpio charm, regardless of whether you're a Scorpio or not. But it's also important for you to keep a little bit of a secretive side of you. So your spirit guides want you to not allow everybody to know everything about you the moment they meet you. They want you to stay mysterious. They want you to keep a few things to yourself, not only to protect yourself, but also just to keep people's attention, to keep people guessing. And then we have the brown bear spirit as well as the bat spirit. So I get very earthy energy here. I mean, we have the medicine mother, the Lord, the brown bear spirit, as well as the bat spirit. So I know the bat is an animal that can fly, but it is yet more of a grounded one. In the bat spirit, I want you to know that a rebirth is one thing that your spirit guides want to communicate with you, and they want you to know that it's maybe going to wipe you out. So if you've been feeling very tired and you can explain to yourself why, if you've been feeling emotional, like you're on an emotional roller coaster, like you're almost afraid that people are going to see you as a crazy person, that people are just going to think that you don't have yourself under control, I want you to know in the brown bear spirit that that may have a lot to do with some sort of transition, with some sort of you changing into a different phase of your life. The bat spirit just sort of gives that a little bit more weight, gives this rebirth a little bit more of this intense feeling alongside the Scorpio. So it's so important for you to take time to figure out exactly who you want to be and how you want to feel about this situation, because oftentimes when we're going through sort of like a spiritual awakening or enlightenment, we don't even know that it's happening. We just know that we're emotional AF. We just know that we are very, very much easy to rub the wrong way. We're very, what is it called? Sensitive and also reactive. And we're not sure exactly what we're supposed to do with that. But I want you to know that if you take a little bit of time out just to meditate, just to get yourself under control, everything will be just fine, and you'll be able to go through this transition in a seamless way. That is what your spirit guides want you to know. Then we have the traveler. So travel to a new place, that would be helpful. But also know here that the traveler encourages you to move into a new direction. So maybe the direction that your life has been going towards right now is keeping you a little confined. Maybe you feel like growth is very slow, and sometimes what you need to do is take a detour. So now I know detours can sometimes take longer than the direct route, but sometimes detours can also stop you from running into a traffic jam. So if there is, for instance, an accident, taking a detour will save you a lot of time, because inevitably you would have been in that traffic. You would have been in that stagnation. And that is the same thing that your spirit guides are trying to warn you of group number 3. They want to let you know that right now, a detour is beneficial. Right now, the direct path that you thought you always wanted to take from A to B may be congested, may be clogged up, may not be useful to you in this situation, or may take a very long time. It may keep you complacent for a longer amount of time than necessary. So allow detours to happen. Don't be afraid of them. Then we have the animal guardian. So in the animal guardian, one thing that I see here is protection. Okay, so protecting an animal around you, maybe somebody who is younger than you, who is more vulnerable, and that is a side of you that your spirit guides want you to look at, because the impression that people get is maybe not always what you mean. That is sort of the danger that I see here, the challenge that I see within your reading group number 3, that you are often misunderstood. But I see that you have to just sort of reconnect with what instinctually feels right. I feel like you're someone who is a chronic overthinker. So you're overthinking how you will communicate with people. You're overthinking what you're going to say, how you're going to form your sentences, but I feel like you have good social skills within you. It's just important for you to relax about it, okay? Don't overthink it too much. Don't allow yourself to feel as though like you're an awkward person, because then you're gonna make it awkward. Group number 3. We have the starfish spirit next, as well as the turkey spirit, the owl spirit, and the bobcat spirit. So I definitely see here that there are things that will remain unanswered. That is what your spirit guides have to say to you within the starfish spirit, okay? So definitely things here that are going to remain unanswered. That is what your spirit guides have to say to you. In the bobcat spirit, you know, life has its mysteries and we cannot always get to the bottom of them. We cannot always figure out exactly what they're all about, but it is important for you to still maintain your gratitude and to still maintain your grace when it comes to things in your everyday life, okay? So just because you're not exactly sure what is going on in your love life, or you're not exactly sure what you're going to do academically, professionally, there is no reason to freak out to the point where you think just because you're having a rough time or you don't exactly know what's going on, that your life is just chaos, or that your life is not working out the way you want it to. There is absolutely no reason to resort to that kind of thinking. I want you to allow the owl spirit to give you this clairvoyance that you need. The owl is one that sees clearly, that can turn its head, I don't know how many degrees, many, many degrees, okay? A lot further than a lot of animals. The owl has overview over each situation and can therefore remain calm and content. I mean, this owl has a little crown on, okay? So basically a queen or a king when it comes to mastering life through clairvoyance. And that is sort of the energy that I see your spirit guides trying to channel through you, trying to shift towards you. And in the starfish spirit, I want you to know that when you're able to allow this shift to happen, this paradigm shift, this shift of the way you see things, you can be open to infinite possibilities. So especially in correlation to this detour and just following the things that you know feel right, I definitely see a lot of possibility opening up for you that you may have never considered, that you may have never thought was even a possibility. You never even thought that far, group number 3. But the fact that you're now going to open up to it, the fact that you're going through this sort of change, which may also come with physical change. That is one thing that I see in the first house. Maybe there is a physical change that you're anticipating. It can be something as small as changing your everyday lipstick. Well, to some, that is a big thing actually, so I don't want to say small. It can be something as, let's call it simple as doing that, or it can be something bigger as to where you're maybe getting a type of surgery. Maybe you're going to try out a completely new hairstyle. Those are things where, you know, they're a bit more long lasting. Obviously a hairstyle doesn't last as long as a operation, as some sort of procedure, but you get the picture, group number 3. So don't stress out about it, group number 3. Any sort of detour can very much be in your favor. It does not have to mean that things are going to take longer or be less efficient in the end. Just allow these detours to enter your life and be instinctual about it. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it inspirational as well as motivational. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Emerald group number 4, which is an excellent choice. I want to move straight into your reading about what your spirit guides are trying to say to you. So we're going to do this intuitively. Lean back and enjoy your reading. We have the Broken Arrow first and foremost, and then the Traitor. So group number 4, in the Broken Arrow, first and foremost, what I see is that you have to let your guard down. You have to not be so protective over yourself and your things. It is so important for you to keep in mind that you don't always need to be on the defense. You don't always need to be protective over your heart. Sometimes you just have to embrace the energy of peace, the energy of not having any sort of shield or weapon with you. That shield could be, as I said, the walls that you build up, or maybe your weapons could be just the fact that you have learned to quickly react as soon as somebody says something to you that is just not right. In the Traitor, one thing that I see here is that you can exchange your energy in order to create abundance. So you may have sort of felt stuck recently when it comes to your flow of abundance, maybe when it comes to your achievements, group number 4, and you're asking yourself, how can I shift this energy? How can I allow myself to finally reach new accomplishments, new heights, and get myself into situations and places that I never expected that I could get myself to? But in the Traitor, I want you to know that energy can be exchanged, and it most likely is any sort of energy that is uneasy, any energy that is confrontational, to exchange that energy for the energy of peace, as we have in the Broken Arrow. It's very clear that these are two things that go together within your reading. Then we have the Gemini, and the Gemini, I want you to know that there is this Gemini / air energy around you. I want you to know that it is a very lively and witty energy, but at the same time, you don't always know what you're going to get. That is one thing about the Gemini. So you may be a Gemini, or somebody very close to you may be of this sign. And I want you to know that communication is one thing that your spirit guides want to talk to you about. They want to let you know that through proper communication, you can not only work things out with the people around you, but you can also ask the universe to exchange old energy that you maybe do not need right now, for this energy of peace, for this energy of just allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable, but in a way how it's going to have the most positive effect on you, because you're not going to be hurt this time. You're not going to be put in a situation of discomfort. You're going to be put in a situation where you're like, okay, if I let my guard down, if I allow people to step a little closer to me, that does not always have to result in hurt or any sort of situation where I feel taken advantage of. But let's move further into your reading. We have a Jupiter. So I see here that your spirit guides want to speak about your confidence, your courage, your self-belief, as well as your luck. These are different areas of your life that you can influence, even though sometimes it feels as though you can't. Sometimes it feels as though, you have a streak of bad luck. But I want you to know that your mind plays a very significant role when it comes to this. Your spirit guides want you to know that you do have control over this. Luck is one thing that we can attract. Luck is something that you can develop, an attitude of luck. But if you tell yourself that you're always the one who loses, always the one who's unlucky, then of course, what are you going to attract? More unlucky moments. But if you're confident that you are meant to be a lucky human being in this lifetime, if you're confident and courageous, if you believe that you're somebody who attracts good fortune, then where the mind goes is where the energy flows. So we know the rest of the story. Group number 4, we have the squirrel spirit as well as the rabbit spirit. So your spirit guides want you to know that now is like a very fertile time. That is one thing that we see here in the rabbit spirit. And in the squirrel spirit, they are just trying to gently nudge and encourage you to believe in yourself a little bit more. So maybe you have recently gone through something that really knocked you down. Okay, here I see a situation where you were put in an uncomfortable spot where you were maybe made fun of, or you were used, mistreated, and that is why you built up these walls. That is why you put yourself in this situation where your energy is so uptight, where your energy is not flowing the way it could. And the result of this is the fact that your spirit guides are here to communicate with you like, hey, you need to relax a little bit, you need to calm down, you need to embrace the energy of peace instead of this energy of defending yourself, of constantly being on edge, you know? And the trader is just a very trustworthy kind of trader. I mean, I know in this day and age, traders and people trying to sell you things are not always the most trustworthy, but in your reading, in this instance, I want you to know that you can exchange your current energy for an energy that is one that entails more abundance in your life, that will allow you to come closer to luck as well as just good fortune. But let's move further into your reading group number 4. We have the moon as well as the shield maiden. So you have to make sure that you take time to make these plans and focus. So once you allow yourself to get off of this situation, get away from this situation where you feel like you constantly need to defend and protect yourself, you will then be able to refocus. But I see that it's very important for you to make plans before you focus on what it is that you want to accomplish. So maybe you want to accomplish a change in love, in your exterior, in your physique. Maybe it is in your career. Whichever area of life it is in, I want you to know that making plans for you, group number 4 right now, is essential. You cannot just jump out the door and get started on whatever it is that you would like to accomplish. You have to make plans. You have to inform yourself. You have to make sure that you look into the cause before you get into it. And in the moon, I want you to know that there will be some red flags coming up for you, group number 4, and you have to take note of them. Okay, these red flags are not to be ignored. You know how when you, for instance, start dating somebody, and there are red flags, but you tell yourself, well, maybe that's just how they are, or maybe there's a great deal online and you're like, I don't really know if this is going to turn out as nice or as high quality when it actually arrives, and it arrives and it's like the real version versus what's on the internet. You know exactly what I mean, group number 4. So I just want to protect you from that. I want you to protect yourself from that without closing yourself off to the world. You don't have to close yourself off to everybody in order to just protect yourself. But use your intuition to know exactly like what to let in, what opportunities to take, and what is probably just a scam or a bad situation. Then we have the white raven spirit. So in the white raven spirit, I want you to just trust in the magic. I just want you to just trust what is going on right now and not be so skeptical, or what is about to go on, okay? I see that you have to like continue believing in yourself, building up that confidence, especially when you're in a vulnerable spot. Take every little day that you're not being hurt, every little day that you have positive experiences as a win, and celebrate them as a win. Don't just wait for the next downfall. Then in the hawk spirit, I want you to allow your spirits to be your guide. So there's a reason why you tune into this reading, group number 4. There's a reason why we're both still here. And you have to listen to your spirit guides about letting down your guard and just exchanging the current energy, okay? One thing that I see in the rabbit spirit is that you're also going to become a lot more approachable as well as attractive as soon as you do that. And of course, you know, this channel is not about being attractive or anything like that in a physical sense. My channel is all about being attractive spiritually, as to where people feel like they can meet you at a neutral place where we can both treat each other as human beings and not make a big difference there for whatever reason. And that is one thing that I see in the rabbit spirit, sort of spiritually becoming more attractive, maybe also physically, because when you believe in yourself, when you're confident, that does make you physically more attractive. So allow yourself to listen to that. That is what the hawk is communicating. And we have the crow spirit. Okay, a lot of air energy, okay? In Jupiter, we have this sort of like air connotation here, this reference to air, as you can see in the card. And then we have the raven, the hawk, the crow, we have the Gemini. I mean, it's very clear that a lot has to do here also with your communication as well as your mental state. your spirit guides want to talk to you about that. And lastly, we have the dog spirit. So group number 4 in the dog spirit, I see that it's very important for you to carve out a space for yourself where you do not feel uncomfortable or embarrassed to be loyal to the things that you love and the things that bring you the most joy. And in the crow spirit, it is essential for you to co-create with your spirit guides. So we have a lot of messages directly from your spirit guides. You know, we have the hawk spirit, we have the raven spirit, which is all about trusting in the magic, as well as letting spirit be your guide. I want you to know in the crow spirit that in order to allow things to happen through the universe and through your spirit guides, you have to allow it. If you're too closed off, if you're making yourself too hard to get to, why would the universe try and create with you? There's so many other people who have opened themselves up spiritually to receiving abundance, to receiving the highest good. And I don't want to make this about competition, but I want this to be about your well-being. I want this to be about how you can accomplish your highest good, group number 4. And this is exactly how you can do it. By putting yourself in a spot where you're competitive, where you are one who will likely feel the influence and the benefits of believing in good in this world, of believing in yourself, as well as believing that the energy that you put out is very likely the energy that you will receive. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.